You might not be tired, you might just be too comfortable. Like you haven't expanded yourself, you might just be sitting in comfort, but then you're mistaking it for just being tired, when in reality, let's be real, it might just be a little bit of laziness. We're gonna get you out of that. We're gonna talk about it in this video. Keep watching, but if you don't mind, subscribe to my channel because we're gonna keep talking about it and we're gonna keep growing it. So a little story time. About once a year, I feel stuck for like 2 months. And it's just this weird thing where it's like, things are actually going well. Things are actually like progressing, but I feel stuck. And it's because things have just become routine. Like things that used to challenge me are now comfortable. Like I've grown to a point where I'm like, okay, this is comfortable. And then I'm just continually doing that. And I'm like, well, why does this feel dull? There's not a bunch of challenges. I am very comfortable and I just feel down and I feel a little bit tired. And I realize that, okay, I'm missing out on a next level of growth at life because I'm just allowing comfortable to be, because what's happening in this season of life is now cool, calm, and collected, but you need a little bit of shakeup to get you to the next level. So what do you do? How do you get out of that? Number one, you want to name the inner enemy. Know what causes you comfort, right? Like, so for me right now, what causes me the most comfort is career's going well, life's going well, marriage is going well. These things are great. These things can cause comfort. And what happens is when they cause comfort, you can sit back and say, man, everything is good. Like I'll use a marriage example, right? So for Carly and I, it's like we like our date nights. In times where I feel like things are the most comfortable, those are the times where like we're the most vulnerable, because I might not schedule, a date night for some time because it's nice to sit on the couch and watch Netflix and cuddle up and whatever. But it's like those things over time can end up getting monotonous. And if you get too comfortable doing that, then all of a sudden what was a blessing in one season, you're sitting back in another season being like, yo, this is really the thing that's tearing us apart because things are just too comfortable and we've gotten sick of the monotony, right? So you want to name the enemy, know what causes you the most comfort so that when you see it, you're like, okay, how can we shake things up? In that same example, what we did a lot last year was like, okay, in times, even if we were tired, we were like, no, we're going out, we're having a date night, we're going out, we're going to get a drink or two. Like we're going to go out, we're going to do things, even if we're a little bit tired from the week, because if we don't do this and we just allow ourselves to just kind of like sit and end up like molding into the couch, which ends up happening over time, if you allow it to happen, you're going to sit back in a year, 2 years from now being like, yeah, we just kind of like let life go by and we've missed out on knowing each other. We know more about Netflix and everything than actually looking at each other in the eye and spending time together, right? So name the enemy. Number two, identify the cost of inaction. What is it costing you not to grow? What is it costing you not to do a thing, right? For me, it's like the cost of inaction is always the cost of growth and learning. And when I don't do something or when I don't stretch myself, I can't learn. Even when it comes to this YouTube thing, like, when you're watching this now, it's like I just have a little over like 100 subscribers, right? But I've been doing this new channel for over 6 months, but I've learned so much because I'm like, well, the cost of inaction, if I'm like, oh, I don't get the numbers that I want, subscribers or whatever, is like not doing the thing that I love. It's not growing. It's not learning how to do this better, right? So identify what the cost of inaction is. And if it's something that you want to do, or if it's an area that you want to be in or make happen, go and do that. And that's not some like motivational, speak or whatever. It really is. You want to be able to look at life and say, if I don't do this, this is what it could potentially cost me over here. And that's just kind of like the ROI, the return on investment. This could be a potential return if I invest the time in doing this. But if I don't invest the time, I'm never going to get this return. So if you're looking for a specific return, make the investment, right? Number three, use regret as a motivator. My biggest thing when I talk about this is we're all going to die one day. And I don't want to be at the end of my life saying, man, I wish I did X, Y, Z. I wish I traveled here. I wish I did this thing. I wish I called that person. I wish I pushed myself a little bit more. I wish I spent more time with my family, right? I look at the things that I'm like, what could be my biggest regrets? Right now, I'm like, my biggest regret that could happen, and I won't allow it to happen, is I didn't spend enough time with my family and with my daughter, right? So what I do is, my work day is busy, but I'm like, after work, I love making dinner, and then I'm on the couch, I'm hanging out with my daughter, like I'm holding her for like, a few hours on end, because I'm like, I don't want to miss these moments, and I want to make it a habit of being present, being there, because I don't want to sit back and say, man, when she's 2 or 3 years old, like, man, I miss that newborn phase because I just was go and like handing her off to somebody else, right? So identify what your biggest regrets could be and use that as a motivator. If you don't want those regrets, if they're not regrets already, then you can circumvent that by taking action and getting yourself from a comfortable position to an uncomfortable position so you don't have that regret. And number four, which I think is massive, is add deadline. So I just signed up for a half marathon in August, and I'm like, paid for it and everything. And I'm like, yeah, the training for it is tough, but I'm going and I'm not half-assing training. I'm really pushing because I'm like, the deadline is here. If I do not work hard, then I'm not going to hit the deadline. I'm not going to meet the deadline, or I'm not going to show up to the deadline feeling prepared. So when you add deadlines and when you add those things, you put yourself in so much of a better position because you are basically saying that I am going to push myself to not be comfortable, to be uncomfortable, so that so when this deadline hits, I'm ready and I'm prepared. And I think that's for me, that's been probably the thing that's been so beneficial is I'm not someone who, anything that I don't put a deadline to, it just kind of gets out there and it floats or whatever. Anything I do put a deadline to, I get done and I prepare very heavily for it. So I hope that these things help. Again, number one, name the enemy. Name what is causing you the most comfort. Number two, identify what the cost of inaction is. If you want a return on investment, you have to make the investment to get a return, right? And so the cost of inaction is you're never going to get that return, but you have to identify that for yourself. Number three, use regret as a motivator. You don't want to regret things. You don't want to be at the end of your life or at a different point or different season in your life saying, man, I wish I did fill in the blank, whatever that is for you. And number four, which I think is most important, add deadlines. When you have deadlines on the calendar, you can't just show up and not be prepared. It makes you be prepared. So yeah, that's it for this video. And I hope this helped. See you all next time. Peace.